Hey everybody, I'm going to be making a market update video on Chainlink today. People seem conflicted on where they think Chainlink is going in the short term over the next couple months, and many different people have been painting many different scenarios that could happen. There are a good amount of people that think that we are actually in a bear market right now, and we have been since we put in all-time highs, because of the fact that we're down 74% from the all-time highs over the course of 266 days, which is actually longer than it took for Link to put in the bottoms of the 2018 bear market. So it is very easy to make the argument that we have been in a bear market since the all-time highs. And if that's the case, that begs the question, are we going to drop another 60 or 70% from where we are right now to complete the bear market, go 85-90% down from the top? And I would argue that we don't necessarily have to. No one period of the market is going to exactly replicate another. I feel like where we are right now, many people are questioning whether the 4-year cycle theory is going to continue to be the blueprint for how people navigate these markets. And with good reason, this market cycle looks very different from previous ones. And it makes sense with the scale that it reached compared to what it was at during the last few market cycles. And so we don't know if this top that we put in the spring is going to be a classic bear market top where we drop 90% from it over the course of a year or so, which it's almost been a year since we put in these tops. At this point, I truthfully believe anything is possible. I think it is very possible that we end up dropping into single digits over the course of the next few months. I could see us just ranging for a long time and not doing much of anything over the course of this year. And I also wouldn't be surprised if Chainlink did something like this, where we just formed a massive W pattern. This market was confusing back when it was strictly following the 4-year cycle theory, when everything was strictly following Bitcoin. Even then, there were periods where people didn't know what was going on, if the market was going to absolutely crash or if it's going to recover extremely quickly and then absolutely blast up to put in new all-time highs in a very short period of time. And I feel like we're kind of in a more confusing time right now because what's happening right now does not exactly align with what has happened in the past. And I almost feel like it could be intentional, considering how close this space is as a whole to reaching the scale that we think is possible, to being used by the majority of the world and replacing some of the old faulty systems that we currently have in place. And the reason I'm so dedicated to this space is because I believe eventually these new technologies, and especially the ones that power this entire space, are going to reach that size and scale and have that influence. But what I don't know is when and what is going to happen in the meantime. And we can use the indicators, we can use on-chain metrics, and plus the fundamental news, the new developments, as predictive tools to try and guess what's going to happen next. But you can never know for certain. All right, we're on the weekly time frame, and you can see that we are close to printing a weekly green dot, which should theoretically give us some sort of relief rally. But you can see that the VWAP is kind of starting to curve off and flatten out, kind of similar to back here in the summer, how it had periods where it was increasing sharply, but then it kind of flattened out a little bit. It actually did it twice, and both times we saw really quick drops in price action. So I think it is possible that we see something similar where we come back down for one last low before we print this weekly green dot. We did get another little trigger wave here on the daily, and if you pull a fib, we kind of got a bounce off of the golden pocket here, but it does kind of look like the VWAP is starting to slow down, and we're kind of finding resistance at this pretty significant level right here. So looks like we do have the possibility to be starting a bit of a downtrend here. And the money flows in the positive, but it's not exactly looking the best. Looks like it could kind of do something like this. The 4-hour momentum waves are looking pretty toppish as well. And if we do end up rejecting off this level, you could say that we are making a head and shoulders pattern here. Now, while it looks like the money flow is increasing on the bottom, you can see it's also decreasing on the top. So it's kind of just tightening up right here. And you can see the money flow decreasing on the 30-minute as we are finding resistance on this level. So I think we may see a bit of downside in the short term. Now I have this little box of support marked out down here for if we end up coming lower before we print this weekly bottom. Now the top of this is this level that Chainlink has held since we put in all-time highs, the area that we formed the double bottom on. But I think it's definitely possible if we come lower that we actually wick down below this level, take out some of the liquidity from this level, and kind of fake people out at the same time. We do have some significant levels of support just beneath this. We have the point of control of this range back here, and we have a 786 fib level if you pull a fib from the lows back in March 2020. Overall, I think once we print this weekly bottom, we should get some sort of relief rally in the short term. What's going to happen over the course of the next few months or this year, I can't exactly say. All I know is I am rooting for Chainlink in the long term. I see every dip as a blessing because I believe in what they are doing. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I really appreciate all of the support. It means a lot to me. And I will see you on Sunday for my next video. Peace out.